Hey everyone, I'm with Jennie Lee Riddle, who we've just spent a few days in the mountains in Colorado Springs, a whole bunch of us writing songs, worshipping together, having communion. It's been amazing.
It's been amazing.
I thought I'd just grab you for a few minutes because you're someone that we love and look up to. You are the writer of the Revelation song, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That is just such a powerful, anointed song, which is, obviously we love leading. So maybe just tell us a bit about yourself. I'm so inspired by your story and how that song and when that song came.
Well, as we were talking in the car and you were sharing with me about your little ones and just your motherhood, it came out of, seriously, just my daily walk with the kids and the Lord in serving people. My grandmother had raised me to think that I was going to do music with my lifetime. And kids kind of interrupted that idea. And so somewhere early on, the Lord provided me with a choice of, do I raise my kids or do I pursue music? And he just flat asked me, are you willing to lay down this and trust me for a later thing? And I actually didn't believe the later thing would happen, but I obeyed and trusted him. And so it came out of a daily journey with the Lord that was inspired by basically Genesis 18. Abraham in that passage had this habit, it appears, of entertaining the Lord. And you'll see it as God went to visit him on his way to Sodom and Gomorrah. He had watched Abraham over the course of his life entertain strangers. And the reason I believe that's true is because Abraham was 90 at this particular time when God showed up. And 90-year-olds don't do anything new. So it had to have been habit. And the word says that when he looked out across the desert from the doorway of his tent and saw three men coming towards him, that his first instinct was to run across the hot desert sand, throw his face on the floor of it, and say, do not pass by till your servant has had time to refresh your heart. And that fueled my life with my kids. And I would spend daily time with the children serving. Applause does not dwell there, you know it, it's tough. Nobody sees what you do but God. But the good news is God sees. And the word says that we're to learn to be content in whatever place we find ourselves, whatever state we find ourselves. So the journey of contentment and daily entertaining the Lord, daily seeking to refresh his heart by refreshing men, refreshing others, serving others, that was the season of it. I didn't sit down to write a song that I thought would change anything. I wrote it out of the same exact place I wrote out of every day.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest point is that God sees us.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's going to, Revelation song's an odd thing. He did fling that everywhere. I never expected that. If I knew how to recreate that, my flesh would have done it by now, probably.
Yeah.
All I know is that what's true is when you seek first the kingdom, every other thing will be added to you.
Yeah.
And if you're seeking first the kingdom, when those other things are added, you don't care.
Yeah.
That's the long answer.
I'm just thinking about lots of mums out there that are in that season. Maybe they're in their 20s or 30s, and they're in the trenches. They're with their kids. They're tired, and feel like everybody else is moving forward, doing their thing, and here I am. And obviously, it's the best thing ever. But I was just so inspired when you were talking about how up until you were 40, you're a school teacher. You had 4 kids, and always a worshipper, and that was your place of service and sanity. You
service and sanity.
You said your kids would nap and you just go and worship and sing these songs, and out of one of those
moments.
It
was my lifeline.
Yeah, and just like, can you just encourage those women, those worshippers, those worship leaders, especially because the guys can keep going to the songwriting things, and and sometimes you feel like you're missing out. What would you say, for it all to, all these dreams to come to pass in your 40s, and you're saying you're 47, and now you, the songs you're writing are just
have the
amazing.
faith to miss out.
Have the faith to miss out.
Have the faith to miss out. You're not missing anything. You're gaining everything. God is enough. Either is or he isn't.
Right.
He's either your main pursuit or he's not. And you can't go wrong there. And he will not dishonor you. He is not a man that he would lie. He does not tease you. Romans 5:5 says, hope does not disappoint. And it also says in the Word that whatever we don't do in faith is sin. And so when we make the decision to miss out
Yeah.
and do the task in front of us with all of our hearts unto the Lord, our faith is that the eternal reward's there. We're not storing up our treasures here. We're storing them up in heaven. And we're not seeking an earthly reward. We're seeking the one we get to lay down at his feet and before the God who sees it all. And the God who sees it all will reward us openly. And if that's the moment that we see him face to face and hear him say, well done, so be it. It's enough. And if nobody ever hears our songs, but the Lamb who sits upon the throne,
Yeah.
that's what other audience?
Yeah.
And that's true. And your flesh will argue with you. Argue back. Because that's the truth. And you don't go by feelings. You inform your feelings with your faith.
Amazing. Have the faith to miss out.
Have the faith to miss out.
I love that.
Stop and be the one who stops and is the Good Samaritan. You know, everybody else is running to the thing, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
You're going to miss out if you stop.
Right.
Stop. That story was told.
Amazing. Yeah. Do you know what? There's so much wisdom and gold there. Thank you so much, Jennie Lee Riddle.